Hi guys, and now we'll look at full pyramid pattern. See, this is somewhat interesting, somewhat it it involves somewhat thinking process, yeah, like that. But yeah, it's okay, it's a good problem. Now see here, we have see I'll there are spaces, right? Treat this after treating this a right like a right, treat this like a right pyramid. Then we'll do some modifications. We have space pattern over here, okay? That means there will be two inner loops. The blueprint is very clear, there will be two inner loops. First loop will be treating with spaces, in second inner loop we'll see what is happening. See, here we have these spaces, right? Here we have got these spaces, right? Yes. And now for printing these spaces, I'm going to write first outer loop. Outer loop must be running from 1 to less than equal to n I plus plus. Then the first inner loop is int j equal to 5, j greater than I. I've discussed this. I've discussed you with the past two problems. I've discussed like right of pyramid, how this is coming, how to print spaces, the loop. I've discussed it already, and I'm not going to tell this because there is a lot to tell in this problem, a lot to explain in the second inner loop. Go check out that. If you doesn't understand this step, go check out that video. J plus plus, j minus minus, sorry, j minus minus, and now see out space, right? Yeah, this is very clear enough. The first inner loop is done, and this coming to the second inner loop, there is somewhat complication. There is somewhat complication. See out and L, writing this all over here. This is second inner loop, right? So right. See, there are stars in between. There is space also. Don't ignore that, because if you directly print the pattern without recognizing it, the pattern will be something like this, something like this. It all ignore like this. Then there will be no full pyramid formed. It is only a right half pyramid. You have to you shouldn't ignore the spaces. There are spaces in between. For instance, I'm rubbing this, I'm erasing this, and now see there are spaces in between. That means for after every star there is a space included. That means think over it. For every star there is a space included. We cannot run a loop for these stars again and this space again, because for running after running the loop, if we think of running a loop, then it would be something like this, right? The characters will come after the two characters. The first After the first character has finished some iterations, only the second characters comes in, right? It continues like this: star star star, space space space, or space space space, star star star. But here we are seeing simultaneously, right? After every star there is space, after every star there is space. That means I'm see try to understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to use a loop, something. Yeah, this loop iterates for 5 times, just think like that. And I'm printing one star and then printing one space. Is that making sense, right? Because after every iteration there is a star printed, and there is a star printed, and there is a space printed. Is that making you clear? I think you got that right. After every iteration there is one star printed with one space printed. That means in one iteration in one iteration there are two characters involved, right? I think you are getting that. And I'll explain you once again. In question we have seen that, in the pattern we have seen that every star is associated with a space beside it, okay? Then I'm treating like this two will come under one iteration. That means if one iteration is done, then there will be a star printed, then there will be a space included. That is why I'm running a loop. We'll do some math like, and we'll introduce what is j with what j must be initialized and what condition we have to keep. And then I am printing one star, and then I'm printing one space. See, You can do like this also, or you can keep like c out space c out stars c out space. That means in one iteration itself I am taking two characters involved. Okay, that means how many stars? No, count the stars, because no need to count spaces, because if we count the number of stars, the spaces are also included, right? I think you got this. I think you got that, because if one, and in every iteration I'm dealing with two characters simultaneously, right? And there is no need to count the characters specially again. So now in first I, for I value 1, the star is printed 1, star and space are printed 1. Then I value 2, stars are 2, spaces are 2, right? That means 2 iterations must be possible. Two iterations must be done. Okay, are you getting it? Try to understand it. For I value 3, 3 stars and spaces are printed. That means 3 iterations are done. For I value 4, 4 stars and spaces are done. That means 4 iterations are done. For I value 5, 5 5 iterations are possible. That means 5 stars and spaces are printed. I think you got the logic. For j, it runs from for int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus, first cout star, then cout space. That's it. So simple to understand. But if you ignore this space logic, it is so simple. If you once understand this, it seems so simple. But if you ignore the space, you will never get this pattern. Now you are going to never get this pattern. Okay, I'll summarize it once again. I think you understood the how I wrote the space logic. That's so easy. I've discussed you within the previous two problems. I have discussed you with the space logic. And now in the first loop, in the outer loop, in the main loop, in the outer loop, I've given like I've initialized I, and I made it run until n times. And then in first inner loop, I've dealt with space logic, right? In second inner loop, as there are not only star, there are also a space included with it. So I'm treating this two entity as one iteration, because I'm going to print here, right? In only one iteration I'm going to print star, and then I'm going to print space. That means this two may be considered as one iteration, right? That is why I've taken like that. I've looked the problem like that, and what I've made like there are spaces in between. Okay, there are spaces, and this is one iteration, and these are two iterations, these are three iterations, these are four iterations, right? I'm not dealing with a separate loop for printing these simultaneous spaces also. Okay, in how many iterations are possible for I equal to 1? One iteration is possible. One iteration means it prints star and then print space. Okay, in one loop only I've written like space, printing star and then space, right? Okay, and for I equal to 2, there are two iterations possible. That means two times the star is printed and then space is printed. Okay, in third iteration, three star with spaces. Okay, in fourth iteration, 4 star with spaces, right? Ignore this space, treat it like this space. Okay, it doesn't matter a lot, because here there is no pattern, right? If you give space also, no space also, that's okay. And for I equal to 5, there are 5 star spaces. Means I'm treating this star and space like a one character. That's it. That's so simple. And the code is done, man. I'm going to execute this code. I'm going to execute this code. Wait a bit. Int n, scene for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus, and then for int j equal to 5, j space logic, man. J greater than I, j minus minus cout space. Then next for int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus, and cout star, and then space. And without, you can also write like this, okay, you can give space over here also. Okay, I think you got that. And you can give like cout space. Yeah, that these three methods work fine. And after that I've given the star space logic again. And after these two loops are completed, we have to get into the next line. That is why I'm using endl command. Endl, that's it. And that's the code. And run for 5. We'll see what is going to come. What is going to come. See, we have got that. So simple, man. Okay, we'll see in the next week.